Hello everybody, my name is The Strange Eli and welcome to another video. In case you're unaware, I really love talking about comic book movies, and I'm always excited for whatever next comic book movie is coming up. And now, while I don't talk about the minor rumors about the upcoming DC movies, recently Warner Brothers has released a comprehensive slate of what the upcoming DC movies are supposed to be. So today I do want to go through this list and kind of put in some of my input, what I think about the creative team behind those movies, what do I think about maybe the plot, whatever. I just want to talk about those potential upcoming movies and maybe put in some input on what future movies DC should make. So the first movie on the slate is Justice League. Now this is coming out this November. I'm really excited for it. I really don't feel like I need to say more about it because everything that could be said has pretty much been said. It's coming out. We'll see it. But the next movie is Aquaman. Now I'm really excited for Aquaman, mostly because I'm hoping that we get a good focus on Mera now. Played by Amber Heard, and I'm really excited for Jason Momoa because I'm hoping that he takes more of a kingly role, since that's kind of what Aquaman is. Also hoping that Black Manta shows up. I think he's been cast. Again, Aquaman is a for sure thing. It's going to be coming out, and so I don't really have much more to say. I know that James Wan is going to do a great job directing, and I'm sure that all the performances are going to be perfectly great. Now the third movie on the docket is Shazam. Now I'm curious to know why Shazam is coming so quickly. Before the kind of update of this slate, Shazam was like a 2020 scheduled movie, and while they already have The Rock cast as Black Adam, which I'm really excited for, they don't really have anyone, at least publicly, pegged down for Shazam himself. But again, I am really excited for that movie because there is so much that would be really cool to see in live action, including the first time that Billy Batson, runs out to a field and yells Shazam, seeing him, the lightning strike him and him transforming into Shazam would just be an incredible sight to behold in a movie, especially if they go for like a really epic, like magical lightning, so I'm excited for that movie, but again, I am kind of confused why they pushed it so soon. It seems like they're trying to go for something for maybe Justice League 2, so we'll see. Now the next movie on the docket is Suicide Squad 2. Now a lot of people really didn't like Suicide Squad. I have problems with Suicide Squad, mostly having to do with some of the performances kind of lacking, and the editing is really weird, and I think that having Enchantress as the main villain is too large scale for just the Suicide Squad. I'm interested to see who they end up choosing as a director, because a lot of people really like David Ayer's work, but they kind of see Suicide Squad as a black spot on that, but they believe that he could do better. So regardless of who they choose for a director, it could be another situation like David Ayer where the material just doesn't really work out. But again, I think Suicide Squad, the first one, is very fun. I mean, I own it on Blu-ray, but I'm curious to see where they could go with the second one, and if they would include other villains that we've seen already in the upcoming movies, potentially like Black Manta, and various other villains. Now the movie coming after that is the one I'm personally most excited for, and that is Matt Reeves' The Batman. I think that Ben Affleck is incredible as Batman, and I think that he's really scary, and at the same time I think that Matt Reeves and Ben Affleck, if they work together, which there's 1.5 billion rumors about Ben Affleck's continued dropping in and dropping out of that project, but if they actually make that movie, I think that the two of them together could make a really interesting, grounded, gritty, sort of crime thriller Batman movie, which I think is the right way to go. They're planning on maybe going to Arkham, where that way we can just get we could just go through the list and get this whole kind of gambit of Batman rogues, including hopefully the Riddler, which would be really cool. But the main villain is going to be Deathstroke, that has been confirmed, and Joe Manganiello is going to be the guy in that costume. So I'm really excited to see Batman v Deathstroke. I wish it was a different villain, but whatever. But I'm just excited to see a cool, grounded crime thriller Batman again, but in the eyes, through the lens of the DC Cinematic Universe. Now the next movie is one that I've been talking about for a long time, and that is Justice League Dark. When I had heard the original rumors about Guillermo del Toro directing Justice League Dark and some of the ideas that he had for the story and the characters that he wanted to include, I became so interested. I started reading the comic. I went back and bought some of the trades of it, and even today I'm still kind of thinking about writing a Justice League Dark script just for shits and giggles. But it is such a cool idea, and I think there is a lot that you can do there, especially since the I don't think the DC Cinematic Universe is going to have any problem just embracing magic, especially since Wonder Woman already just embraced Greek gods and the fact that they could just do whatever they want. I think that a Justice League Dark movie directed by someone who understands horror or understands mysticism would be really, really interesting. That's why Guillermo del Toro was such an excellent pick. But I can't really think of a director off the top of my head that would do well in something like that, just because like it is such like a specific niche thing to kind of grasp. But I know that it can be done, and I think that it would be done well. Now the next one is Batgirl. This one I'm very worried about. When the movie Kingsman came out, I remember talking to my friends about how cool it would be if the Batgirl movie was directed by Matthew Vaughn, strictly because when you look at the fight scene in the church in Kingsman, and all the kinetic energy that is going into each movement and the fighting styles, and also like that kind of like upbeat music in that scene really drove home the idea that a kind of like a fast actiony punk like Batgirl movie with a lot of like fire. Rumors have come out and things have been said, and Warner Brothers has been in talks and whatever, that Joss Whedon would be writing and directing this movie. Now, Joss Whedon's Avengers movies are like pretty good. After Wonder Woman came out, a leaked script that Joss Whedon had written for Wonder Woman had come out, and it was awful. It was really, really bad, and it made me go from kind of excited to like not excited for Batgirl. Now, I do believe that there is a really, really excellent actress that you could pick for Barbara Gordon, and that would be Emma Stone. Purely based on her performance in Birdman, I feel like she could do really, really well as sort of this like, tough adult daughter role, and I just think she's beautiful. She can obviously play intelligent characters, and I just think that she would just rock it. So hopefully that works out, but I'm not, again, super thrilled that Joss Whedon is in that project. And then after that, we're supposed to be getting Green Lantern Corps. Now, Green Lantern Corps is really interesting because you've already had a Green Lantern movie in 2011 that really bombed. But Green Lantern Corps is really interesting, especially now in this current DC Cinematic Universe, because we have already dealt with cosmic-y stuff. I mean, like the opening of Man of Steel, which is the first, DCEU movie, is just Krypton. So I do feel like a Green Lantern Corps movie could be really good, especially if Jeff Johns, the writer of a lot of Green Lantern comics, comes in and kind of helps that along, or is like producer or maybe a co-writer on the script, because he does have such a good characterization of those characters. So, and of course, if they do make a Green Lantern Corps movie, I would love for it to be all four of them. I would love for it to be Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, and Kyle Rayner. But I think that the rumors have said that it would just be Hal, Jordan, and Guy, which seems kind of whatever, but I'm hoping that they, do something cool with that. I also think that Luke Evans is the perfect person to cast for Sinestro. I hope that it works out, but I don't really have much stake in Green Lantern, so I hope it's good, but we'll see. After that, we're supposed to be getting Flashpoint. Now this is like several movies in the making. So this is like years and years. Flashpoint won't be coming out until like 2019 or 2020. So first off, why? Because Flashpoint changes your universe once you're done with it. That's the whole point. The Flashpoint story was a means to an end for the New 52 to exist. So when you're that far in and after that you're gonna plan on like soft rebooting your universe, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now, I do have faith in Ezra Miller to be really, really good as the Flash. I think that so far in the trailers for Justice League, it's shown that he can be good in that role. But overall, I love the Flashpoint story to death. I think it's one of my favorite comic book stories of all time. So obviously I'm excited to see it. I think that having Jeffrey Dean Morgan play Thomas Wayne Batman would be legendary. Again, it's too early to really tell. This movie's years away, so I hope it's good. They gotta make the movie. And then the last on the confirmed docket is Wonder Woman 2. Now, of course, I'm excited for Wonder Woman 2. The first Wonder Woman was amazing. My personal idea for Wonder Woman 2 is setting it in the 60s, like the mid to late 60s during the Vietnam War, and have her again being like, okay, so there's this war going on, I have to figure out what's going on, and then you introduce a sort of like Asian version of Barbara Minerva Cheetah, and it's really simple actually, because Cheetah got cursed from using this fake Godslayer weapon, and so I think that if you use the whole like God Killer sword, and like, oh, she found a fake version of it and she used that for this and now she's cursed, and so like it gives her a reason to dislike Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1 was already so like perfectly comic booky and just perfectly mature enough, like it was a good balance, you know. So I have total faith, and especially because Patty Jenkins has already confirmed that she would be working on that, so I have no problem. I have absolute confidence that it's going to be good. So the two movies I do want to see added to this list, there has been a rumored Superman movie that's been passed by different directors. Matthew Vaughn is I think the current rumored director for that project, but it would essentially be Man of Steel 2. It would focus a lot on like the heart and warmth of Superman and stuff like that. Me personally, I think that Brad Bird would actually be the best director for Superman. He directed The Incredibles and Iron Giant and Tomorrowland, even though that movie wasn't that great, but he definitely has an idea of what superheroics should be, and I think that he has a general sense of like epic warmth to a lot of his films that I think would really, really handle itself well to Superman. Having maybe some other villains like Metallo or Parasite in there would also be really interesting. I know that there's a lot you could do with Superman, so just, you know, a really awesome sequel to Man of Steel with Brad Bird attached would be my dream. Okay, I know, weird cut, I probably look gross. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If they rank back the rating system, go ahead and give it 5 stars, but we all know that they won't. In the comments down below, tell me about your favorite upcoming DCEU movies, the ones that you're most excited for. Tell me about your ideas of movies that you want to see in the DC Cinematic Universe or Extended Universe. My Twitter's going to be floating around here somewhere on screen. Please tweet me at The Strange Eli, share all my videos, subscribe, all that nonsense, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.